Yeah! I have to admit, it was better than still better than this guy. Triple M, I'm pointing at Triple M.
That robot has tits.
And we all agree.
Yes.
You couldn't wait to say that in context to the video.
Well,
I'm saying the title.
I know. Oh yeah, don't say the title.
This will fade.
No, well, if anyone's wondering, let's just get this out of the way right now, because I know everyone's like, "What the fuck is up with the title of this video?" So go ahead.
It's all Triple M.
Why don't you explain the origin?
Triple M had an orgasm to her as a kid.
No.
No.
Tyler, I know we're vulgar once in a while, and by that I mean all the time. But come on!
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Well, the first Metroid game ever.
That robot has tits.
Well,
Don't you
no one
dare
knew.
piss me off, because I know where you're going with that.
What?
The first Metroid game ever. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just continue.
All right. The first game where you ever meet Samus. Was that good enough?
No,
You know the
I know what
chick
you're
in the
getting
robot
at.
suit?
You're
Well-
gonna say Super Smash Brothers, and you piss me off. He's like,
No.
oh,
The first. The Super Smash Brothers was not Metroid, dumbass.
I know. That's what I was thought. That's you do that crap. I thought you were gonna say that.
Oh no, I joke around, but
That's where everyone. That's like one of the first places everyone's.
No,
ever
that's
with
mostly
Metroid.
just with Zelda and Link. I'll do that.
Yeah, mostly that.
Because that's overdone anyway. But anyway,
That's
we
a joke.
digress. The first game that Samus was ever in, people didn't think that she was a woman, and until the end, of course. But for some reason, I just had like a sixth sense saying. I just remember saying to myself, "Yeah, that robot has tits." I know you couldn't tell. It's just something I said, and I just had a feeling that it was a woman.
And then you got to the end, you're like, holy shit, I was right.
Yeah, kind of like pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, like Metroid is
Lucky guess.
Metroid is a good game within itself, but what did separate it? Well, it was also very unique game, but something that really separated from that really broke the mold was the surprise reveal that Samus Aran was a woman, because you have this gender-neutral armor on, and you have, in fact, green, yellow, and orange are the ultimate gender-neutral colors.
Yep.
And you have it in your mind that you're playing as a man, because that's classic video game logic. Mario's a man, Sonic is a man. Well, he's a hedgehog, but he's a male hedgehog.
You know what we mean, people.
Link is a man. It's just something you became accustomed to, especially with Nintendo games. In fact, making Metroid a woman was a last-minute decision.
Yep.
Basically, everyone at Nintendo's like, hey, well, in Japan anyway, hey, you wanna fool around with some Americans? And so that's what happened.
They carried it like a trap and make people assume it's a guy and then reveal it's a girl.
And it was something that was a good idea, and it was a nice surprise. It was something. It's like you got to think of the before time. No, I'm not talking about BC. I'm talking about before the internet.
Yeah.
But where
the thing that we all rely on nowadays?
Yeah, you couldn't watch Let's Plays. You couldn't go on Game Facts. You couldn't go on walkthroughs. If you wanted to see the end of the game, like if you knew what Ganon looked like in The Legend of Zelda, you were the biggest champ ever. In fact, I remember there was a scene in Regular Show, as weird as this is to compare it to, where Mordecai and Rigby were saying they got to this impossible level in an old video game. And I don't know what time frame that game is supposed to be based on. It's really confusing. But in this situation, it's supposed to be like an 80s thing. And Muscle Man was saying, no, you didn't. Then what does he look like? And they went, he's blue with a mullet. And what they did was, they didn't go on the internet to prove that. They took out the player's guide, and they saw a picture, and they went, whoa, they thought this guy was legendary. It's like, whoa, you know what he looks like? That was exactly it. And the thing is, what's cool about the Metroid ending at that time was, if you said Samus is a woman, a lot of people would have said, oh, you're crazy. That's a stupid ending. That can't be it.
And then until they play the game, they realize, oh, right.
Yeah, those kind of people don't beat games like that.
Yeah.
Because they don't believe they don't believe the groundbreaking kind of stuff.
Okay, I was about to say, there's a secret there.
Yeah, I know. We went over this, Tyler. Don't reference the video.
What? We're playing this in real time, aren't we?
Tyler, I think it's too late. I think it's way too late to mention that.
She's got pubes.
Shut up, James.
Oh, I get it. She goes pew, right, with her arm cannon, with her beam cannon.
Yeah.
You know, pews, not pubes.
Ew.
Pew.
Yeah. Boobs.
Pew.
Tits.
But yeah, that is a big point of Samus. That I think we can all agree on. That is a big point of Samus of the Metroid series. Is that well at first in the first game that Samus was a woman, but once that got the thing is once that got into people's minds and they didn't mind it anymore, it wasn't something that was amazing to discover. What was new for Samus? That was a question. And in fact, her popularity and formula is amazing because in all reality, the first game, Metroid 2 in the Game Boy, and Super Metroid on the SNES, the first three in our lineup, are all remakes of the same game.
Yep.
Except the story gets more developed. And the thing was, why? But then that stopped with games like Metroid Fusion, Metroid Prime, Other M, which I'm not a fan of, and I can't figure out what the hell to do. It's like, that's the idea. Metroid has that formula you want to keep playing. It's the search. What made the NES and Miyamoto such a great developer was he did more than just beat an objective. He made the game so you want to explore, so you want to get involved with a character. Even when they're 8-bit or 16-bit, these little cartoon characters, you want to know them. You want to get involved in their life within the game. That's
32-bit all the way.
Yeah, that's brilliant programming. Especially story-wise. That's why the Earthbound series is one of my favorite all time, because that mastered that technique. And Metroid, it was very similar. Like, everyone wants to know the story. It's one of the timelines that actually isn't confusing, even though they take a lot of... even though, in all honesty, they don't take a lot of risks with their story. And they don't want to budge or anything. But, you know, that aside, it's not a horrible story. It's actually pretty interesting. Metroid... Samus was an orphan. Ridley, one of her greatest enemies, killed her parents while she was pretty much just born. And there's a species known as the Chozo that took her in. Her armor was made by the Chozo to give to her so she can protect herself because humans are weaker than the Chozo. And she pretty much has the abilities of
the Chozo.
Generally speaking, it's very loose. She became part of this police force known as the Galactic Federation. And in typical,
the guys that are in charge.
Yeah, and this isn't...
The guys you have to answer to.
Yeah, and this isn't...
Even though you don't really want
This isn't for every Metroid game, but generally her main enemies are the space pirates, who always give her a hard time and stuff.
Yep,
and
especially Riley.
Yeah, and what happens is... when push came to shove, she didn't like what the Galactic Federation was doing to stop these enemies. She felt they didn't make the right calls and they were playing it too safe to stop evil. So she went on her own as a bounty hunter, even though Nintendo never wants to reference the fact that she's a bounty hunter, even though it's always in every damn instruction book and every damn description of her.
Yep.
She's a bounty hunter.
In fact, Metroid Prime they wanted to put in bounties. Like you actually had to get a certain NPC or a certain enemy and bring it back to base. But Nintendo said no because they don't want to. Nintendo, the family-friendly company. That's what they've always been.
Yeah.
But that aside, Metroid has an interesting story and it has a lot of depth. Every enemy has their backstory. I mean, when it comes to programming them, they don't usually. They aren't very variety. They don't have a lot of variety most of the time. Most of the time, it's Ridley and Meta Ridley and Riley. But they do have a very colorful cast of villains. And one thing I will give Other M is they did do a lot, even though that was their only focus point. Pretty much why the gameplay wasn't that great. They pretty much made sure that every question you had in the Samus universe was answered.
Would you say that Samus was an Iron Lady?
What is the Chozo suit made out of?
Titanium carbonic alloy.
Without,
Probably some titanium carbonic
Samus is
alloy.
tall too. Her bio says she's 6'3".
Hey.
She's 6'3". How the heck does she flip to spear form? Injuring herself.
Hey, guys dig tall chicks.
Yep. I mean, have you ever seen a modeling in a magazine that wasn't tall?
Or at least above a certain
I
standard.
had no idea what's going on.
The power of advertisement.
Yep.
You never don't.
I want to have a body like Samus.
Judge me.
It said no girl ever.
Yeah. You imagine?
Samus has a nice body. You ever see her? Remember,
Yeah.
Remember that not sexually confusing at all cutscene when she first showed up in Brawl?
Yeah.
I should have put that in here. Oh well, the damage was done.
Yeah, we have Greg here.
I should have put that on. Oh well.
Too late.
It would have took a lot of effort anyway. I would have to play the story all over again, which I actually have to do on my Wii because I transfer when you transfer all your Wii data to the Wii U, it doesn't copy the data. It literally moves it all. So I had to.
Wait, time out. Billy, you know the way you sound weed, it sounds like weed, right?
From your standpoint,
Maybe
yeah.
to you.
It's you.
Yeah.
Hey, all black people do weed? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, you did not. You did not.
You did not just do what Greg does.
And now every.
You just did not do what Greg
I'm sorry, I can't let this go. Now every viewer we have, jaw drops knowing that you're black. I'm sorry, I couldn't let that go.
Really? You just revealed
What?
yourself.
How do you
No,
know?
I didn't mean that racially. It's just I know a lot of people that hears James's voice and they assume he's another race. I don't mean that. I don't mean to be
You
mean.
just assume that. It's just how the internet is.
Yeah, I know. It's like you don't see their face. Like
I is what I is.
yeah,
Did you know that some people thought that I was a Russian?
yeah. A lot of people think. Yeah, that's a good example too.
Do I sound Russian to you?
Some people actually thought I was German at one point.
No.
I've actually had people ask me on my channel, "Are you German?
Seriously.
What nationalities are you?"
Well, what?
And I tell them,
It's
I'm
like
a mutt. Italian, Irish, Scottish, Swedish, Polish,
I don't know.
Native American.
I don't know what they go by. Is it? Do they think you have an accent or like? I know a lot. I watch a lot of Canadians that. I know they do it because of cultural differences, but they think they have an. They don't think they have an accent when they do. Yeah. But still, sometimes I wouldn't know. I'll be shocked when a Canadian's Canadian because sometimes they don't sound Canadian. Like I don't know what a Canadian. I'll admit I don't fully understand what a Canadian accent sounds like.
A French and British accent mixed.
Yeah, but
I even had like a Canadians when I went to Vancouver. I had a teacher and he just for fun got an accent. I was like,
yeah, it's like,
Yeah, but you see, this video is all about crushing stereotypes. People think Samus was a woman, except for me.
Oh.
But people think Samus was a man, except for me.
That was good. We have canon now. Our off-subject tangent has a canon. Good. High five. Wait, we gotta make that loud so the viewers know we high five. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, twice.
Here's the thing.
Did something go flying?
I don't know.
I think I broke your finger or something.
No, you didn't.
No, but something did go
Thank you,
flying.
James. Thank you, James. You made our random tangent.
Yeah, but you know what?
Work.
People think that Samus was a man.
And she's not. She's a woman.
she's a woman.
We all know she's a woman. We can see the blue through the armor.
Not really.
Hey, you know what? If you see the new design she has for the Super Smash Bros. 4, no one will confuse her for a woman again. They made sure that Samus's new armor had the most feminine look to it possible. They gave it all the. She still has those norming shoulder pads, but she has the. They made sure that had the most feminine figure you can imagine.
So the more
He is a girl,
I know.
It's girl, but I'm saying it's probably for the guys that still don't realize it.
Well, the Chozo armor has different looks throughout the games. Like in Metroid 2, which I understand why they did that because it's a black and white game.
Yeah.
In Metroid 2, they made her suit very bulky and huge because you had to distinguish what was what in her suit, what did what exactly.
That's what she said.
Basically making her look like Juggernaut.
Yeah, and in
tits.
Metroid 1, she looked like she had a really awful posture.
Yeah, I know.
And here in Other M, this is the most feminine look she has, which is what they're basing the Super Smash Bros. 4 video version
it's
on.
actually 3D.
Yeah, Other M. That actually is a good. That is actually a good topic we can talk about right now. Other M was an experiment in every way, shape, and form. But the problem with it was one of those games that was trying to be a cinematic movie. And the problem with that is Nintendo shouldn't do games like that. In fact, I don't really like movie-based games. I feel like if I want to play a game, I want to interact with it, not watch 3-hour cutscenes. I'm looking at you, Metal Gear Solid. But,
Or Iron Man wannabe.
yeah. But, they wanted to make this story-driven. They wanted to make Other M the ultimate canon.
You'll see where I'm
to
going
the
with that,
series.
James.
Which one are we talking about here?
Other M.
You know the cutscene with the police?
I gotta say, what was interesting? I liked
They
the
look like Iron Man wannabes.
Yeah, I gotta say, I liked the idea of what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a 2D Samus 3D. They were trying to pull a Mario 3D Land, make a 2D game in a 3D plane, a hallway game, like a Crash Bandicoot is a hallway game.
Yeah, it was what they're trying to do. They brought back the classic bosses.
Honestly, it doesn't work though. Nothing works in this game. It's not a bad game. It's not a horrible game, but nothing works.
It's kind of like Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Yeah,
there you go.
It was a good
there you
idea,
go.
but nothing
It was Mortal
works.
Kombat Special Forces.
It's like in a 3D plane, it makes the exploration boring.
Yep.
As weird as that sounds, a 3D plane makes the 2D Samus style exploration boring.
Yep. You gotta take a risk when you do that because like MK4, that was the first official 3D Mortal Kombat game. But when Mortal Kombat Special Forces, that was also a 3D game, but it sucked.
Yeah, but the thing is,
but it sucked.
I want to explain.
It's an experiment. You have to take a chance.
I want to explain what's going on in the video right now because this is a perfect example of what didn't make Metroid Other M work that well, especially typically for first-time players. I am facing this boss right now, and I have no idea what I'm. I know this is just a part where I know what I'm doing. I know this is something where you have to hit them enough so they get the idea that you can't kill them because nothing works. Eventually, I'll try to scan him. It'll happen soon. What I don't get, though, is they're trying to go so Metroid Prime with this, yet they did the exact thing that Metroid Prime didn't want to do. Make it a third-person game. Who made it? RetroWare made this game. They were trying to do what Other M was doing, except less 2D-like, less hallway-like. And what Miyamoto came in one day and basically fixed the whole thing. He said, put that in first-person view. It'll make things a lot more organized. It's hard to shoot in 3D plane like the way Samus does. And they did the exact opposite. And also, they demand a lot out of you in Other M with just a D-pad. They demand a lot out of you. If I had
controls into like a couple buttons.
Yeah, like I would complain a little less if I had the nunchuck, but I didn't. I have to use. I get it. You want the modern and the past to come together. It was a good idea, but it didn't. It didn't work. It just didn't. Also, I have to say, story-wise, it did explain a lot. It did a good job with some things, but this is a major complaint with everyone, and I agree with this. They made Samus such a little bitch. Like, she complained.
Oh my god.
All she did was complain and moan and cry, and they didn't care. She's supposed to be. And people may have. I hate people's. What's the word? I hate people when people defend that because they say like, "Oh, come on, we never heard her voice before." It doesn't matter. It's actions. What happened to actions speak louder than words? Samus supposed to be this tough gal who's brave and heroic, but they made her such a whiny bitch, and it makes no sense with her character.
You know what, Billy? That scuffs my boots.
But on top of that, it's like here's the part I'm talking about. I have no idea how to shoot missiles. All the instructions say is press A while it locks on. I did that. It doesn't work. All I've been doing is shooting the beams. I have to look at it again. Maybe it's because I'm looking at a small screen on my computer to record this. I don't know, but I couldn't figure it out. I ended up dying and I gave up. I just said, you know what? I got enough time for the video. I'll just put this on.
Speaking of which, it's almost up.
Yeah, I know. And just one point for anyone who says this is an early boss. I know. I played this once and I automatically did not like this game. That's how bad I feel this game is.
Yep.
It's not a Sonic 06 in any respect. And if you like the game, more power to you. It just doesn't work that way.
My favorite Samus game is Super Smash Bros. 64.
Oh God, I hate you.
I said it. Huh.
Actually, if you want favorite Metroid games, I love Super Metroid. I haven't played many Metroid games, and I'm just starting to get into it. But I love Super Metroid. I got it on my Wii U Virtual Console. It's a brilliant masterpiece of a game, and I suggest anyone get it. But yeah, we are out of time. So I'll see you.
It doesn't look like you're actually locked on.
We'll see you guys next. No, that's lock on. It didn't work.
Triple M reporting out.
Complicated.
See you later.
Gamer or
See you
Shelter
later,
and I'm out.
guys.
Oh God.
That robot has tits.